Right, so that was actually a sound test I did. I once did a few audio recordings using this Bluetooth headset just for a matter of convenience. Look at him. Come. And it got screwed up. Like my friend who I was doing audio, die mosquitoes, who I was doing audio recordings for, he was like, listen, I'm not hearing anything you're saying. And did I catch him? I don't know. Come chopper, lots and lots of mosquitoes here. Damn. Come, let's go. You have here all over you. You don't have to worry about mosquitoes. Right, so so I thought the microphone on this headset was screwed up, but I don't know. I really don't know. Perhaps it's WhatsApp recording via the microphone was screwed up. I don't know. But yeah, so I did that little sound test there. Right, so rice and peas, like Jamaicans will eat rice and peas every single day. And I will say that if it's rice and peas and the other types of food, oftentimes rice and peas gives you more protein than say yams or I don't know, tagine and those other things, or dumplings. Flour isn't necessarily the highest type of, or the highest source of rice and peas, you know. So come, isn't necessarily the highest source of rice and peas, but yeah, we'll stick to the highest source of protein, so we'll stick to rice and peas. Yeah. I don't know what people in other countries do. They do some sort of bread, but I don't think those are high in protein either. I guess that's why people tend to do protein powder. However, I would say the whole rice and peas thing is good for just the dietary parts. Like with me, it's like rice and peas, chicken, and chicken is high in protein, relatively high, and then you have eggs for breakfast. That's good. Toast with the eggs, that's good as well, you know. So yeah, relatively balanced, and that's just like naturally, right? That's not me even changing my diet because of any particular reason, but of course I would have increased my egg intake, and I'm trying to work out later on when things get a little easier. I'll start perhaps eating different sources of protein, meat protein that is, like perhaps more beef, more, I don't know. And I was going to do some research on the meats that are highest in protein and try to eat more of them without unbalancing the diet, you know. Yes, because you don't want to be eating too much red meat and it affecting your health, because you don't want to have, I mean, white meat is, when I say red meat, I'm talking like beef, you know. Too much in excess isn't good. So let me cross here. I think this is where this meated made me get wet up. Oh boy, let me walk here. Yeah, so yeah, it's a huge consideration, but yeah, just trying to let it fit into my life, and these days my lifestyle is kind of more sedentary. Is that how it's pronounced? I don't even remember. I think it's sedentary, or yeah, whatever. Because I haven't started doing any field work, so I'm doing a lot of planning, and in doing that planning I end up doing a lot of sitting. But as you can see, my lifestyle is fairly active because I walk this little rascal here. Yeah, I walk him, and that I mean, that's just mild. It's like nothing. But I work out and I run. And if this was not the rainy season where I'm walking on lots of muddy roads, I'd be doing more running, because I wanted to run yesterday and then the rain started, you know, and I would run today, but the roads are muddy. I could run based on my observation, because normally what I'll do is use his walks to observe the quality of the roads. So I'll pick two roads. There are two roads I would use, and I'd use his walks to observe the state of those roads at the time when I want to run. And I'll pick probably both and do it as it's normally 5 kilometers, so it would be a bigger track if I use those two roads. They're parallel roads, and if only one is in runnable condition, I'll use my road and the other road, because they're on opposite sides of my road, and it would be a smaller track. And I'll run, and I'll ensure it works out to be about 5 kilometers. That, you know, gives me a good sweat, get the adrenaline flowing and so on. Yeah, so you know, yeah, get the adrenaline flowing. So so the cardio aspect is covered, and I don't often run, to be honest. I used to do it more when lift up your foot. Used to do it more. Lift up your foot. Lift up your foot. Lift up your foot. I don't often run. When I was doing more competitions, I ran more, but I've kind of taken a brief, I guess you could say, hiatus from running. I've done a few competitions earlier in the year, but I'm kind of taking a break. So lift up your foot. You are one troublesome little doggy. Come. Right. So when I was competing, I would do preparation. So leading up to the competition, I would run. I'd start training and run maybe twice per week over the next month leading up to it. So I got a lot of training done. I didn't do those, that was mostly endurance training, to be honest. It wasn't like I was trying to grow muscle, which is something I should be doing, but I really don't have the lifestyle structure to do that. If I lived closer to work, as I commute for about maybe 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours, I would commute for, hey, watch him, look at him. He's an explorer. Dora the explorer. Or what's Dora's friend's name? The other Latino dude, whatever. Right, so And then by the time I get home, I'm tired, but of course I don't use it as an excuse. Still go and work out. I guess I should do things a bit more structured. I had a timetable. I still have a timetable that I, two of them, yep, mosquitoes I'm talking. You thirsty? Thirsty? Yes, thirsty or thirsty? Mosquitoes are biting me, man. Wanna go drink some water? Yep. There he goes. A dog's life. And then he's going to want to come in the house with these muddy feet. And then more grass. Oh boy. This guy is something else. Right, so still have the timetable, but I can't stick to it all the time because sometimes I'll work out a certain set of muscles, and when the time comes around, I normally give each set of muscles about 2 days to heal. So if I work out, say Monday, let's say I do chests. Oh boy, this dog is something else. Hey there. Hey, what are you doing? Now you're stuck. Now you're stuck. Come. Look at you. You're a mess. Yeah. So if I did, ooh, whoa, look at that. Wow. Wow. Okay. It's the hue is all over the place. Okay, anyway, so let's say I worked out caught another one. Let's say I worked out a muscle group Monday. I tried on Wednesday again, but sometimes I may have pushed myself harder than normal, and I'm sore on that day, which is a Wednesday. I will do another set of muscles rather than push through the soreness and risk injury. I'll do another muscle group, and then the following day, when I feel a little bit better, I'll no, we're not going there. I will, you know, get back on schedule. But yeah, so my timetable is consistent but not fixed. I have to be smart. And then sometimes between let's say I'm doing chest, and I don't want to waste time resting in between sets. I'll work out maybe say abs then in between those sets, because I really don't have, I haven't dedicated days for abs, to be honest. It's been the most neglected muscle group for me. So and then so painful. Well, when I say painful, meaning it's not as easy to breathe when you're doing abs. I don't have machines, so everything has to be calisthenics, and based on how I have to do them, whether it's on a mat, if it's not on a mat, then perhaps it all depends on the what would I say, the position of my body at the time. I may not get to breathe as much, or in order to keep the intensity, I may choose not to breathe as much. So I find myself having to probably pause for a second, catch a breath, and continue. So, you know, it's tough. It is really tough. If I were someone who, let's say I worked somewhere and then there was a work gym, or the gym was like a 10 minutes walk or something, then that would be different. But it's traveling home, and I'm driving, and you know, I'm driving through insanity, driving through Jamaican traffic, utter insanity, Kingston to St. Catherine, and dealing with the insanity that goes on. And then when I get home, I have to eat and walk this dude and then I have to go work out. And it's tough. I will say many times, by the time I eat, wait a bit, I'll do the walk and use it to digest the food a bit, so I don't vomit while I'm working out. And then by the time that's done, I start working out, and then that ends. Many times, I mean, based on how stressed you are or what the day entailed, I may be listening to a podcast or a video, and I'm not going to finish it. I'll pause, but things may not flow as smoothly. So many times, I'll be honest, many times I start working out at 10 p.m. I'd like to start at 8. But just all the different things that need to be done. It doesn't flow as smoothly as I would have liked. But I do get it done. And many times, I can tell you, many times I finish after 11, 12 o'clock in the night. But it gets done. And the thing is, many things in our lives don't work out perfectly. I have a roadmap, I have a plan for things to flow in a way that my fitness regime improves, but it hasn't manifested yet. So I have to work with what I currently have. I have these things mapped out in my mind, and many of it I've documented to ensure that it manifests itself, because it's going to happen. So it's funny how I've seen it in my mind so many times. All the pieces fitting together for me to achieve business success and health success and family success and all the other goodies that I've perceived in my mind's eye. So I just keep walking the journey. That's just how it is. Which is why I keep telling people I'm a bit of a weirdo. I don't think like others do. Or I could say I'm exceptional, but people be like, "Oh, you're arrogant." Yeah, I am exceptional. I am exceptional. Oh, look at the cute little doggies. This mosquito just decided it's not going to leave my hand. They're so cute. And Chopper doesn't even want to be friends. Such a diva. Yeah, so I'm going back into civilization now. So I'm signing off. Bye guys.